I have had a couple of people ask me about these meters that I use. I use them as production meters. Now, these things are all over eBay and Amazon as just general appliance analyzers, watt meters, all kinds of things. And I've seen videos of other people on YouTube using them as production meters, but whenever I got one, it didn't work as a production meter. It only read power coming out. So I bought another one, and it was the same way, and I bought another one. All three were from different sellers, from different places, but they mostly all looked the same, but they only would read consumption. So, just an example, move my little soldering iron there. If I plug in my production, that's the actual wattage that my inverter is using. And even though my inverter is live, nope, just died. All it shows is overload. Now, whenever my voltage gets too low for the inverter to kick anything out, the only thing that it shows is the 2.4 watts that it's drawing off the grid just to keep everything in sync. So we're going to talk about what needs to be done to make this read production. Okay, converting this thing is actually pretty straightforward. You're going to need soldering iron, #1 Phillips, good pair of hemostats, sometimes a clamp, depends on how cooperative it is. We're going to start. This particular meter has 3 bolts on the backside, screws, 3 screws on the backside. I have had one of them's got 4. So there are some small differences you'll encounter now and then. This is how it is assembled. Now, the part that we're going to play with is this board right here, which is going to be held down with one little screw right in the middle. We're going to take that screw out. Just for the sake of convenience, we're going to take out the little LCD. It's on the other side. 4 little screws on this one. Set the case aside. You might have to play with it a little bit, but whole plug assembly slips out. And now, if you pay attention, you gotta look in here, and you've got, it's directional. This red wire is going to the input side, white wire is going to output, or, well, I guess it depends on which direction you're looking at it at. But basically, the way this is set up, white wire is grid, red wire is your device. What we need to do to make this to where it will read the other way around, where it'll read production instead of consumption, is we're going to swap this red and this white wire on the board. It's 2 great big old boogery solder points. Every one of them that I've opened up has had those same 2 solder points just like that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Try to stay focused on that. So what we're going to do is first take note of which one's which. I've done enough of these that it's not a big deal, and it's a small thing, so it should be easy to remember. White was on the inside, red's on the outside. Anytime I'm working on something like this, I always take a picture of it, or I write it down. I make sure that it's written on my worktop or something like that. I suggest always trying to write things down, take notes, so that you don't get stuff like that mixed up. Now, good, that's working. We're going to break the solder points up. What I like to do is I put my little hemostats on there just so that there's some tension to break it loose on the backside. There it goes. You might have a better soldering iron than I do. Mine takes a little bit to get warm enough to pull the stuff off. Okay. Now, it's very simple. We're going to move red to the inside, white to the outside. Just poke your wires back through there. Generally, there is enough solder that getting it all put back together is not a big deal. That's set. Let it loose. Okay. Then reassemble in reverse order. Now, something that is you might have to deal with is that since you move some wires around, it might not go back together exactly the way it came apart. It might resist you a little bit, but it does fit. Just have a little bit of patience with it. Then from there, now plugging in, it's going to go straight to saying that, overload, because that's just how things work right now for it. But now, in our, the inverter's live, it's not going to use, it's not going to show a whole lot of flow, but you'll get the idea. And that's the output coming from the inverter. And it died. Don't have a whole lot of charge on my batteries right now. But that is how to convert these things to where you can use them for production meters as opposed to consumption meters. Thanks for watching. If you guys find this stuff at all interesting, I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Really helps me out, and I'm very close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Sorry I don't have any considerable updates on the big turbines. We have been uncharacteristically calm for like 2 weeks now. So not much to show. That's the only one that wants to turn. So stay tuned. More projects coming. Guys, have a wonderful evening. Good night.